I see I see Turn the heat down to 4. Huh? Turn it down to. Let me see if this is gonna work, man. I had to switch my network last time. You gonna be on here? Wanna get on here? Get over here. What up? What up, people? Anybody hear me? Aquarius 21st. What up? What up? What up? What up, Magneto? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up, Kings? Yeah. What up, Superflaw? Julie Prince. What up? What up, Bruce Lee? All right, man. So happy Friday to everybody. Let me make sure this phone is straight. What y'all got? What y'all got going on, man? What y'all doing this weekend? Come on, you wanna get on camera? Come on. I dare you. Come on. Come on. And why you standing right here watching me? I'm gonna put you on here. Man, what y'all got going on this weekend, man? Yeah, man, it's getting there. What up, L Logan? Yeah, it's getting there. It's actually kind of warm today, a little warmer. Um, I'm gonna post a video pretty soon. I just gotta edit it. Some major development taking place in the neighborhood, man. Crazy economic opportunity out here, man. I think I talked about it before, but I want to put y'all up on something called the midlife crisis, right? Where usually it's documented from 40, 41, and 42. Up in that little window of pocket is when usually we go through something called the midlife crisis point. And astronomically speaking, this is a time where the planet Uranus is direct opposite to where it was when you were born. So Uranus being at, let's just say 8 o'clock for me, was in Scorpio, it'd take Uranus 42 years to get to 2 o'clock, which would be direct opposition. And so usually on average between 40, 41, and 42, people experience what is known as the midlife crisis. This is why if you go back to the Jada Pinkett Smith Red Table Talk and you heard her talking with Will, she was like, when my 40th birthday, that was it. It was like something had to change. And that's because, again, that 40th mark, excuse me, I got a fire truck that's coming down the street. But that 40th mark, what up, Gail? That 40th mark is a grand awakening. So if you start looking up the words for Uranus, keywords, you'll see shock, upheaval, sudden change, eruptions, things of that nature. It's like a volcano. The key to it is that part of your own psyche in your life doesn't act up if you are in alignment with what is your truth. Because Uranus represents your unique individuality. It's your sense of geniusness. What makes you feel free? Very important, because the outer planets are said to be a mirror in what's known as a higher octave than the inner planets. So for Mercury, which is the mind, then Uranus is like the super mind, the genius, the inventor mind. Then Venus is love. Then Neptune is more of a what they would call unconditional love. Mars, Pluto. So they have higher octaves and whatnot. And so this is, again, Uranus, the grand shock, the grand awakening. And I was having a profound conversation today with a guy who finally opened up his restaurant, and he had, all right, my bad. He put a sign up 3 years ago, and was going through some things, and he finally opened this week. So I went down there, had a conversation with him, met him. We had a great conversation, super duper great conversation. And we was talking about, one of the things we talked about was how it's never too late to start. And if you've really been paying attention to me, I'm like, just been telling y'all, like, man, get started. It's not too late. But I got this little sense of self-bitterness because I waited so long to get focused. And so when you are not in your alignment, because I wasn't in my alignment, not in totality, when it comes to I had suppressed desires for financial gain. And it wasn't until that 40th birthday that happened to be in alignment with Uranus opposite Uranus in the sky. It was a reflection that if my individual self, Uranus, is not happy and feels suppressed, feel boxed in, then Uranus energy represents a disruption. So then I would make a decision to disrupt. And I was in that generation, or am in that generation that have Uranus and Scorpio. It's probably like a 7-year group of people that have that has this weird or different or collective. Uranus rules Aquarius, which is the collective, humanity, friendships. And Scorpio is joint finances. So it's some type of collective financial relationship for the greater good. You see what I'm saying? And if I'm not in line with that, and I'm not pushing that, and I'm not doing that, then this is likely, because the planets just signify mental options. Mental options. And the options that are likely to manifest are based upon the previous decisions that you made. So if you made decisions to consciously not be aware and not be involved financially, I don't know how you could not be with every single password since you've been on the internet since 1999. Your password has always had something to do with finances. So to suppress that, because you recognize it, then you put it on hold, you suppressed it, so consciously you did that. Then when Uranus gets in this position, it would signify a time where you yourself, talking about myself, will have an awakening moment, a major shift. And it's so funny because my father's uncle told my father when I was like in my teens or low 20s, wait till he's about 40 years old and you will see a change in him. Because he had observed this great truth and experience with his own son. I remember having a conversation with my father, and he said, I remember my uncle told me that about you. And sure enough, here it is. He was dead on. Because I wasn't living in full alignment. Neither was Jada Pinkett Smith when you see her talk about that. And I'm talking about that conversation she had with Will at the red table. When she hit 40, it was like, oh, that's exactly what happened to me. And this is a known phenomenon. It's probably so known that you can probably Google midlife crisis and it's going to pop up on Wikipedia. I'm quite sure it will. Okay? So that's the Uranus aspect of yourself. Great conversation today. I'm going to make a video a little later. Friendship. kept coming up a lot. The importance on having friends and family, you know, those dynamics, very important, very important. And as it pertains to success, you know what I'm saying? So y'all gonna see that a little later, man. So what y'all got going on, man? Let me see. I appreciate the live right now. I really didn't want to zone out to no music, and then this pops up. God tunes to top it off. I spoke about you this morning to my work crew. Oh, appreciate it, man. God tunes, appreciate it. I need Saturn, Moon, Uranus, Scorpio in the ninth. Okay, Superfly 2027. Saturn, Moon, Uranus, and Scorpio in the ninth. All right, so big teacher. Saturn and Moon is usually a parental figure. So it could be that your mother or father was instrumental into your religious development, or if not, then most certainly you have the marker that will find, one, you should travel outside of the country. Two, it may be a foreign person when you travel outside of the country, or a foreign person you meet domestically that will serve as a father/mother parental figure to you, and you may meet them on your journey. So when people have strong ninth house energy, I have a ninth house sun. When people have strong ninth house energy, it's about philosophy, higher education, the expansion of consciousness, the expansion of the mind. We call this the area of space that deals with higher learning. And so this is why it's back to school, college, and things of that nature, or traveling or overseas. I always tell people, if there's a specific place that you're interested in, India, Tibet, South America, because of the spiritual values that you can identify with, that you want to learn, in a sense, that has this calling you, you absolutely need to go there. Okay? When you have the ninth house energy, it is like mandatory that you go. Okay? And so the ninth house is about learning and, again, mental exploration. It can also deal with law as well. Judges, a person who studied law. You could study law and be really good at it. A lawyer, a judge, especially with Saturn over there as well. So those are some heavy ones: Saturn, Uranus, Moon. But I think at the core, your emotions, even potentially women, should have some type of higher knowledge. And if you are a man, then you definitely need to be involved with a woman who is not no mental turd. She mentally can hold her own. She loves philosophies, and she's seeking a higher understanding and whatnot. So that's all. The ninth house is just wants you to get busy with your mind. Same thing with King 87, Jupiter in the ninth. Jupiter rules the ninth, so it wants you to get busy and expand your mind. Learn the world philosophies and teach. And it's because it's the college professor energy, all right? So I've been going through a lot, bro. I'm Aquarius, born on January 21st. God tunes, like, I can't, you would have to give me some specs and whatnot, because it could be a few things, you know what I mean? Because I don't know, you guys just got to tell me what stuff is at and what's going on and whatnot, because I'm not pulling up the birth chart right here on the lives. But the key to everything is to, once we can identify what's causing the issue, then the contrast to that is, what you do want. So when it's hot outside, I'm putting on the air conditioner. When it's cold outside, I want the heat. And so the current situation I dislike automatically pushes me to the opposite side of the spectrum to introduce what I do want. Oftentimes, there's a delay and a suppression of the things that we want, and that starts to create the problem. And so be true to the game by identifying what the problem is and then going all the way over to its contrast to bring in a solution and stay true to that. And then you'll be heavenly aligned, right? That's why I tell people, like, you don't necessarily need to know this science to live. My grandparents lived, you know, grandfather's still alive and what, almost 90 years old. That cat drive his car three states over to go see his girlfriend once, twice a month. You know what I mean? At 90. You know what I mean? Grandparents was married for over 50 years. They ain't know no science, but they had an agreement, and that's my point. Agreement is the key. If you can get agreement, you can pretty much stay on the positive side of the ledger if you can get an agreement. All right. And so, because Aquarius right now, besides Uranus being in Taurus, is the only major thing that is potentially creating some issues. And Uranus is about sudden disruptions because we're not being true to something. And trust me, you can identify what you do want. Because again, when it's hot, you don't want to be hot. You want to be cool. All right. Also, yours truly said something interesting. Feel like I had mine's 10 years early. So at 28, 29, 30, because if we're going to go 40 for midlife crisis, 10 years prior is 30. 28, 29, 30 is your first Saturn return. And that's where you have your first major checkup in life where it's time to grow up. 30 years old is when it's like, oh snap, I'm no longer 20. And you hear it in a dialogue last year interview with Meek Mill and Angie Martinez. And Meek is like, you know, man, I'm 30, you know what I'm saying? About to start really buying all the jewelry, man. About to start buying some houses. And so as you go up in the decades, that number change, that first number change, usually a shift of consciousness can accompany that and whatnot. And so that was a good point out. 30 is your Saturn return, responsibility time, time to grow up. You're not a baby, you're not a teenager, you're not in your 20s. What you gonna do with your life? You know what I mean? And that's what that is. What up, Anwar? You know what I mean? Right, Saturn return can awfully could represent divorce times and whatnot. It's just it's a time of responsibility. It's a time of, you know, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What time is it here? Okay, 2:39. All right. So the new Ice Cube, I played some of it. I'm not necessarily a fan of the production, the sound of the beats sonically. But I played some of it. You know, Arrest the President I heard. The Bully, something about the Bully and whatnot. But you know, it's a nice Cube album. You know what I'm saying? So I can dig it. Just not necessarily a fan of the sonics on it. Out of all my issues, my wife means the most. I have been struggling with faithfulness. Woo-wee! All right. Yeah, man. You know, it's funny. Somebody today, I saw a post. Been with her for 14 years, 34. That's probably like somewhat kind of similar to me. You gotta be. It's hard, man. You just gotta be true to who you is, man. You may be a Hugh Hefner, man. You may be like Prince. You know, some people are Hugh Hefners and Princes of the world. Some people are, I don't call that succumbing to a lower self, because when you look at the success of Hugh Hefner and Prince, you know what I mean? You see it in the culture, you know. It's have it your way. Whatever you want it to be, it can be. I totally understand the struggle standpoint where, I tell women this all the time. when the man cheat, it doesn't mean he doesn't love you. A man would tell you straight up, that's not what it is. I'm doing me. I've got something on my mind and I want to express. Got nothing to do with you. And then I understand the argument, well, how could you do that if you love me? Because you know that I don't like X, Y, Z. And then it gets to that aspect, right? And I truly understand that point. You have to find, you got to find that vehicle, man, that mode. Like me, I got super duper eighth house energy. So, you know, you got to find that mode of expression that's going to allow you to be who you be. And sometimes people not gonna make that journey with you because it's not within their constitution to share, to be honest with you, and respectfully so. And I totally get that. You know what I mean? And then I understand the standpoint where, you know, I wrote a blog a long time ago. Why do men lie? It's because you don't want to be in trouble. You don't want to get caught. You don't want the drama. We come from the culture that says, I bust the windows out your car. I know. I had a baby mom put sugar water in the trunk in the Tahoe gas tank. And now I got to get the engine drop. I mean, not the engine drop. I had to get the gas tank drop. And then at first people didn't do the job the right way and messed up my system again. And I had to get it dropped again. And then the sugar crystallized to these big ass rocks. You know what I'm saying? I've been through that experience before. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it's you know, it's it just got to make it contractual, man. You know what I mean? And it's Shakespeare said it best: to be or not to be. You with me or you not? But it's funny how money changes the threshold of what people can withstand. I will say that in my observation, man. And so that's a little sticky, man. But I would say for sure, don't punish yourself because you may be attracted to whoever it is that you're attracted to. That's that I don't like that definition of, oh, you have no discipline. Yeah, well, there's a whole lifestyle of spirituality, and that's why I go into the tantric aspect, because that was a spiritual discipline that says, hey, listen, sex is a great energy and it can be used for higher cultivation and things of that nature where you can share your energy. I don't mean you go sleep with people, everybody you want to and stuff, but clearly there's, I would say, there's something missing in the connection to a degree that's not allowing the energy to stay focused on one single point and whatnot. And that's not a bad thing. It's not. You just got to find your lane with it, man. So good luck with that. God, good luck, boy, because the Western world, man, is crazy. What up, Gail? You know, I'm curious, man. Western, man. I'm God Tunes. I'm curious, man, if you have any energy in the eighth house in your chart, because usually it's the eighth house people that have those kind of I don't want to say issues, but you know, subjects. So if you can just you go to astro.com, it's free. Type in your birthday, put the chart in, and click show chart and see if you got any planets inside of the eighth house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome for sure. You know, Jupiter moon alignment, Jupiter expansion, growth, luck, moon, a woman. So if you a man, this is could be pretty lucky with women. You got to watch that marker too, because you can gain weight fast. And hold water, swellings. But Jupiter moon could be an abundant female, something dealing with female relationships. is where your blessings can come from if those two are close together when you were born. So I would just, because it represents luck in female, so I will always play my goddess card. Always. It's a natural born card that you would have that will work in your favor. The power of the female energy for sure, Jupiter, is close to the moon when you were born. Absolutely, positively. All right. Yeah. Oh, I think what I was saying last time about that alignment, because it was buffering that Jupiter and the moon. Um, um, the moon is in a growing phase. Said like you got the new moon when the sun and moon come together and you can't see it, and then about 2 days after the new moon, in the western portion of the sky, because now the moon is just to the left of the sun. So when the sun sets in the west, a little bit to the left is going to be a crescent moon. And the crescent moon means you can see the right side of it, but you can't see the left side. And then every day for the next 14 days, the moon, the right side, starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger. At 7 days from the new moon is the half moon. In 14 days is going to be the opposition mark, which is the full moon. So if you can catch the crescent moon close to Jupiter, the moon that's growing, known as the waxing moon, that's growing close to Jupiter, because the crescent, that the waxing moon mean is growing. It's the phase that it's in. It's gaining in strength. It's gaining in light from our perception. So when it's close to Jupiter, these are excellent times of meditation. Excellent times of meditation. Nobody tells you this in a sense, because everybody are to the most part, humanity is just a baby when it comes to the astroscience. So they talk about the big ones. Oh, it's a solar eclipse, or it's a new moon. But what about when the moon is conjunct these other planetary bodies? You see what I'm saying? So this is an excellent time of month to really go super duper heavy into meditations of abundance and growth and things of that nature. For sure. Absolutely. The best time. But something else that's going on, that I got the Family Wealth Club starting on next week. The Family Wealth Club first webinar is on the 19th. Major portal that's happening. You know what I'm saying? So join the Family Wealth Club, man. I'm gonna drop this video today that I talked to this guy, this owner. Just great conversation, man, to see how, white guy telling me hang around wealthy people, telling me he got millionaire friends who came and support him to open up this restaurant and stuff, and and gave me his phone number. Just like love the energy. He was having a great conversation. And I was telling them, like, what we all do over here, and marrying what we do to the physical wealth. And that Jupiter moon conjunction is that. It's the moon in Kabbalah is known to represent the foundation, how to draw things down from the astral realm into physicality. Jupiter is the expansion and the growth. So when these two align, this is a perfect window. And then what's going to happen is, but you got to catch it, because there's going to be a part of the year you would never see that. For the next 6 months, you won't see it. So you only got a 6-month window to catch it in this phase. And then when the Earth travels on the other side of the solar system, the moon is now going to be, you're going to see the left side of the moon and not the right side of the moon. So you really only got a 6-month window to play with the growing moon on this particular conjunction. You see what I'm saying? So that's an excellent thing for that, man. Excellent thing for that. What time is it? 2:50. Yeah. You absolutely welcome. Welcome. Yep. So anybody else got a question? Anything? Real rapture. think the real rapture is definitely the self-awakening process. And the body vibrates to a point because the electricity in you has come online. But yeah, so the Farmer Almanacs are the bomb diggy. I love them. It's funny how I'm glad you mentioned that Farmers Almanacs mention when they chart the planets, they're using the system that I rock with, Western astrology. So if you ever hear something about Vedic astrology or Eastern astrology or 13 sign astrology, that's different from Western and tropical. Western and tropical are the same name, same system. The Farmer's Almanac are rocking out in the Western system. They throwing up the W big time. So this is West Side over here when we deal with the cosmos, man. But the Farmer's Almanac is dope because here it is, all of our food, right, is coming from farmers. So our food is predicated upon someone who has some type of celestial knowledge. Now, whether they're stargazers or not, don't matter. They know seasonal energies. And that's fine because that's at the core, all of the energy is seasonal. It's either fire, air, earth, or water, or what we call spring, summer, and winter and fall, right? But it's just very amazing. Once again, that in the Farmer's Almanac, these cat got ephemerises that's dealing with planetary rotations and whatnot. So I find that interesting. So yeah, I rock with the Farmer's Almanac for sure. All right. Anybody else? Moon in Scorpio be whooping my ass. Yeah, Moon in Scorpio, anytime the moon is in a water sign, it gives way for a intuitive person. The moon in Scorpio could represent a woman who could be sexual, has sexual secrets. So you want to make sure that that's on the up and up. But it also can represent a very extreme, loyal woman, and you yourself with your emotional lies could be extremely loyal as well. It's funny because it's either loyalty or sexual secrets, right? And it's like an oxymoron, but each energy always have this duality of polarity of extreme opposites. The high side of that, I do believe, is definitely great emotional expression, great sexual expression. And it also definitely should be about your emotions, what you think and feel. And as it pertains to women, should be on the same financial accord because Scorpio means joint finances. And so therefore, that female element in your life and things that, generate feelings for you need to be on the, need to be solid, man. Really need to be solid with the Scorpio moon, but very intuitive. But it can just give way to some. I think the lower nature it can give way to possessive traits. But it's over loyal. You know what I mean? So it compensates and whatnot. I got something like that, man. I got my moon's in the 8th house, the Scorpion house, so it could be sexual secrets for sure, but then it's still some type of loyalty to the ones who you deem to be family, because the moon is family. You know what I'm saying? And so the Scorpio moon is literally, you can reach that place where it made me think of Jew when he tell you, I've been in a situation, man, where in marriage, separated, come back together. She can come back with stuff that new guy didn't bought or old guy, whatever didn't bought. That don't bother me when I see it. And Jew, like, nigga, you crazy. That shit would have been in fire. I'll burn that shit, right? And so my point is, you can be loyal to the soil because it's like, you can do you, I know what I do. And, if I'm good, you good. You know what I'm saying? So that Scorpio moon, once it identifies, especially if you're a male, once it identifies the women, if you're in a heterosexual relationship or who you emotionally connected to in a good way, um, you're gonna make sure that they straight, no matter what, they good. You know what I'm saying? So it compensates. You know. All right. Yeah. It has to have an artistic expression of feelings. The feelings have to flow. It's the key when the moon is in the water sign. Feelings have to flow. All right. So what we got? What was that? Hecka. My 8th through 11th is all retrograde. Saturn, Pluto in the 8th. Ooh, Saturn and Pluto in the 8th. All right. Let me give you Saturn and Pluto in the 8th because I got a jet in the 2nd. Please give me a rundown how to level up my finances and spiritual path. All right. So when you're dealing with Saturn and Pluto in the 8th, one, this is very dark energy in the 8th house. This could be an older person. This could be a father figure. If it's afflicted, but those two being there, I would tell you to watch out for sexual predators because you could be a victim of some form of sexual abuse. But at the same time, too, you have a very strong, alluring energy. Saturn and Pluto in the 8th is absolutely no way I couldn't tell you to you have to go learn the sexual arts. It has to be the Tantra science or it have to be the Taoist science of dealing with, I got it right here. I know all y'all gonna go get this, but hey man, y'all gotta get to a point. Do what y'all do. It ain't for everybody. You know what I mean? And you gotta know what you're doing anyway. So for you, Hecka, how to level up on your finances is for you, I would say majority, if you can relate to this kind of topic, this subject matter right here, then you really need to go for certifications in the realm of intimacy. And you need to share your experiences, and then you need to come back and you need to be, Saturn is responsible. Pluto is powerful. So then you need to be responsible with your power. 8th house is that sexual thing. So you need to be responsible with that power. And so if you're going to deal with spirituality and money, let me see something. Let me go back to your text. See Neptune in the 10th. Neptune in the 10th means that's a career that's dealing with some form of spirituality or mysticism. Neptune is music and imagination, and it's nothing physical. It's all mysticism. And so you're definitely a spiritual career person. And so I think what you have to do is you got to teach. You got to teach about the nookie. Does that make sense, Hecka? Let me know. I got to get a confirmation on that before I get out of here. I got to go pick my son up. I'm already a little late. But let me know, Hecka. The Tao of sexuality. Yeah. And getting into those practices, man, these are lifelong practices that you have to get into. I would recommend purifying the body for a year of doing certain meditations that I taught. I taught this in my Cosmic Light Body. For example, right now we're about to go into Capricorn season, so you want to purify bones and bone marrow and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, see, there you go, Hecka. So if you ever had this urge of really wanting to advance sexually and then get into it as an art form, you have the past where you have to teach it. And truth be told, see, the only thing that makes sense about some of our karmic situations that we may have, abuse, whether it be sexual abuse and things of that nature, is that's when the past life information comes into handy, because the truth of the matter is, you could have abused somebody in your own past. The soul is infinite. You got many expressions and many lessons to learn. So we committed many violations. Every single thing, it is said, the Hindus teach that man has millions upon millions of psychological impressions. At one stage in the game, the consciousness of a butterfly, a part of your soul was the consciousness of a butterfly at some point. This is why when you start going in the body, you start to see these things that take the form of nature, these organs. The thyroid look like a butterfly. You know what I mean? Broccoli looks like the damn brain. You know what I mean? Like these things in nature start to resemble some of our own internal organs that make us who we are, right? Um, Certain fruits, split them open, they look like a vagina. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we that conscious program is infinite. So if the conscious program of life is you and that's infinity, then every single thing inside of infinity we didn't experience at some point in time. You done violated somebody before, you'd have been every single thing before. But it's your goal in your waking self to always strive to be at your best. That's the goal with learning how to let go of the attachment. All right. So I don't know where that left off at and whatnot. But yeah, Hecka, I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call. 267 403 4078. 267 403 4078. Let me go get my son, y'all, man. Just stay. I'm gonna upload another video today. It's not gonna be a live, it's gonna be an upload. But check it out, follow the directions in the video. Join me in the Family Wealth Club so we can create something new and powerful for ourselves and our family. All right, peace.